Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's a Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com, 844-551-8255 if you want to call the show. Hey, look, I am in the process of trying to get back to Salem, Oregon. Nothing's finalized yet, but we are in the works. As soon as we know more details around that, I will let everybody know. I am thrilled at the possibility of getting back there. And for the record, if you do want me in your market, let the station know that where we're broadcasting, where you're hearing the show, and we'll try to get something set up. I love coming out and visiting with the folks. So anytime, would love to do it. Let's just contact me at kjradio.com, and my folks will get it all set up for us. And it's a thrill for me. So don't think of it as you're doing, it's not me doing you a favor. It's us doing each other a favor, because I love getting out there and the outpouring of support for the work that we do here. And I truly appreciate you guys. So let's make that happen. I want to begin this hour talking about Obama's record, 8 years of war. The guy who got the Nobel Peace Prize and said that we would be out of these various wars, and we are still in the wars. And I got to tell you, I feel confident that Donald Trump is going to evaluate these wars that we're in, and he's going to take care of them. Think about, I haven't heard much about ISIS, and I think we're going to cover that later this week just to kind of get an update on what's going on with ISIS, because right now it appears we're winning. And I talked about it earlier in the broadcast where Donald Trump says, I'm going to chase ISIS, I'm going to eradicate them or kick their butts off the face of the earth, and he's suddenly doing it. So we're going to chronicle how things are going with ISIS. The other thing, lowest economic growth in American history. That's what we had under Obama. Are you looking at this economy, folks? I'm going to get more into this when I start discussing what's happening in the temperature of D.C. It's suddenly getting a little bit warmer for Donald Trump. It's less cold. And it's going to shock you what we talk about, the people who are starting to come on board with Donald Trump. So we're going to talk about that. Record number of mass shootings. You guys have heard me talk about this. The number of school shootings in the era of Obama has been redonky-donk. It is ridiculous. The number of mass shootings in the general public is, the numbers are staggering. It's almost like when I compare the decade by decade of terror attacks in the United States, and you see how many happened in the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. If you look at how many mass shootings there were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and now what we have under Obama, in the 8-year period of Obama, it will blow your mind. As well as the number of people on food stamps. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but we have a government under Obama who actually bragged to the UN of the number of people we have on our food stamp program. They sent a report to the UN bragging about this. I mean, when you want to think about perspective, I want you to understand that you have a government that measures itself, pats itself on the back at a time when we increased our food stamp rolls by 16.7 million. They're patting themselves on the back. Yeah, look at what we did. See, they looked at it as, we're so wealthy, we could absorb those people on food stamps. Congratulations to us. That we were willing to go trillions of dollars into debt so we could let a bunch of lazy people stay off work in an economy where, quite frankly, the government couldn't create any jobs, at least good jobs. But we created an environment where people say, you know what? I'm not going to go out there and forge ahead for myself and my family. I'm going to take from others. I'm able to work, but I'm not going to take that menial job. It's beneath me. Let me ask you this. If your kids are starving, would you work? Would you go out and say, you know what? I'll go get a job. We'll scale back. We've done it before, folks. I don't know about you. I know I have. And I suspect most of you have. But instead, what the left does is they go, oh man, the government didn't take care of me. And when they lose their don't misunderstand me, your unemployment benefits are yours. But once you go off unemployment, when that runs out, you're now at the behest, at the welfare of other people. And you know what they did? They extended it. Barack Obama extended welfare. And then from like, I don't know how many months, but it was up to 2 years. Don't do anything for 2 years. Then after that, they started claiming disability, and people are staying on disability. They found the ruse of the loophole in the system, and they took advantage of it. They took advantage of you, and they've been trained to do this. How sick is that? I mean, I want you to imagine the frontier days when a farmer got sick or lost a crop or whatever. What did he do? How did he forge ahead for his family? How about we get that sense of urgency about ourselves and stop being dependent upon some centralized government to take care of everything? Should it be easier? Absolutely. But we shouldn't be dealing with, just abject, lazy people. People that will tell you to your face, I'm not working. You will pay for me. What about the insurance cost of Obamacare? That's what Barack Obama gave us. What about a national debt that he doubled? More than doubled. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'll cut the budget. He cut a budget that was already 3 times higher than it needed to be because Bush had expanded the budget. If I can't cut the deficit in half. Well, anybody could have cut the deficit in half after Bush. He added over, $1.5 trillion new dollars to the deficit. He gave us the worst rioting since the 1960s and the worst race relations since then as well. There's hardly a major city in this country that hasn't been touched by some leftist group. Antifa, Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives Matter, you name it. KKK. Think about it. Cleveland, Baltimore, Atlanta, Berkeley, California, Missouri, St. Louis, Chicago, you name it. There's been something. He's given us racial strife, and you name it. He increased the gap between the rich and the poor substantially. The guy who says he was going to make a difference between Main Street and Wall Street, and he was going to, go after the venture capitalists, blah, blah, blah. Look, I don't care. As long as venture capitalists are doing things legally, I don't care. What I care about is when they write rules that favor the very wealthy and at our expense, and then the politicians support it. They pretend they're going to go after him. He didn't go after anybody. And Barack Obama, he didn't create the guy who had the opportunity to raise the level of the ocean, lowered it, and in doing so, lowered it for blacks. He is a disgrace. And I'm going to play a clip where Trump says the same thing when we talk about dreamers. Folks, that's what the left loves. They love losers. We'll be back.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.